What is going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you, Evil Lives, for the resub. Let's talk a little bit about E3, shall we? All right, first of all, let me say thank you so much for being here right off the top. I am currently going through some of my old Twitch broadcasts from when I came back because I am preparing for the next episode of Limit Break Radio. If you didn't know, by the way, we're doing some reunion episodes of Limit Break Radio, the next of which is happening on June 27th, starting at 8 p.m. That's a Sunday. So make sure you mark that on your calendar. Be here. We're going to be taking your calls, talking all about the Shadowbringer storyline. We're going to be doing some predictions for what we might see with Endwalker in terms of storyline, what we'd like to see from Endwalker in terms of storyline, and of course, we're going to be talking about how you can help cast Rays on Limit Break Radio and help us producing new content in 2021 for not just Final Fantasy XIV, but for Final Fantasy XI as well. Again, that goes down Sunday, June 27th, 8 p.m. Eastern here on the channel. I hope to see you for that. Now, E3 is still kind of going on, but let's be honest, it kind of wrapped up around the time that Nintendo presentation wrapped up today. We're going to talk all about that here in a second. I appreciate it, everyone. Lloyd, Evil Lives, Hull Gaming, Cargo Crab Colin, Rar Snacks, what's going on? Dark Flux, Null. Let's see, who else? I think that's everyone so far. Thank you guys so much for being here right off the top. One of the things I wanted to mention was going back through some of those archived Twitch broadcasts. Like, it made me remember that a lot of those really early Twitch broadcasts when I had first come back after my long silence of from being laid off from Checkpoint, they're like, the first one had like over 100 people there, the second one had 50, and I never expected a really big audience to kind of be here every day, or every other day as the case may be, when I was streaming. So I just want to say how much I appreciate you guys being here, especially right at the beginning of broadcasts, and hanging out with me. This has been a lot of fun, kind of coming back to Twitch and getting reacclimated with streaming on a regular basis. And now that it's been a couple of months of that, I'm starting to feel my streamer legs again, and so I really want to say thank you guys, for hanging out with me, for being such a fun audience and a responsive audience. So thank you guys. I really do appreciate it for those that have continued to come back and hang out here at the Limit Break Radio stream. And you know what? If there's anyone out there who's maybe watching this afterwards, can't.
When do we kill chaos?
Hey, Ramos, we'll talk about killing chaos here in a minute, but maybe you can't make the stream times. It's weird for when you work or something like that. Just know that I see your viewership. I see your comments on YouTube. I see the hits that some of the videos get in terms of the archived broadcasts on Twitch, and I appreciate it, guys. I really, really do. So if you do get an opportunity, obviously, I would love to have you drop in for, a live session and say hi. But again, I want to say thank you to everyone who has already been doing that. I really do appreciate it. So let's talk about E3 2021 because, it's been sort of the subject of industry discussion. Does E3 continue to really have a place among, a world of trade shows? It's so easy to do digital broadcasts and presentations and reach about the same size audience. And you know what? I gotta say, E3 2021 really kind of made a pretty good case for why the show is a bit of a dinosaur. Now, I will caveat that by saying that I do think there is value in face-to-face communication. E3 for a while went strictly B2B, business to business. It for a while, now it's, been opened up again. And I think the only things that really justify E3's continued existence are the companies that show up to showcase. Sony not being a part of E3 2021 was palpable. I think that was a huge loss. Not getting anything from Sony. Now, obviously, we're probably going to get a Sony State of Play eventually. I don't think... Last I checked over the weekend, one had not been scheduled or announced yet. So, I think that was... Listen, that was a big loss. I think that's a big loss for E3 overall. And if you can't and I'm speaking now to the organizers of E3, if you can't attract, the biggest and most newsworthy developers and newsmakers, I think it is time to reevaluate who is the show for. I think everyone needs to sort of reset a lot of their expectations around E3 as a show moving forward. Now, obviously, this has an opportunity to rebound next year. If, let's say E3 does something to attract exhibitors back, and there is a real reason to go there in person again. But as someone who's been to, a couple of E3s and, seen the show, been there in person for the shows, and got to live through some of the hype. And I mean, even then, you would hear other people who had been there for years previous going like, man, it's just not the same. Even people who were there 3 years earlier were just like, man, you guys should have been here. And then you hear the people talk who were there 10 years ago, and it's just like, oh, it's a fucking different world. Obviously, there is a lot of value to being able to kind of personally interact with your audience, and I think that is the reason to do something like E3. This year's E3, like most of the time when, there was a couple of years even still when I was working with Checkpoint that I didn't go to E3. I was sort of like the at-home correspondent, if you will, and I had FOMO, man. Like, I wanted to go. I wanted to be out there. And didn't get any of that this year. And I get it, a lot of it is digital presentations. But even with what was showcased out there, like, I feel like had I been in, sitting in the theater, I probably wouldn't have, would have had an equally disappointed reaction to it. So, Raw Snacks in the chat saying it's been a long while since E3 has been a really amazing event to attend in person. I believe that. I also think that some of the weirder and more problematic aspects of E3 have also gone away, which I think are good. Not completely, obviously, but I think it is a bit more of a friendly event to attend than some of the stories that I was hearing, 10 years ago. 2010, 2011. There was some pretty weird shit that went on. Anyway, not to go down that rabbit hole, let's actually talk about what we saw, because I think one of the most impressive things that I saw out of the entire weekend wasn't even at an official E3 thing. It was at Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest. And I got to say, man, Elden Ring looks phenomenal. Elden Ring looks really, really cool. And obviously it's got that From Software sort of mystique, I guess, would that be the right word for it? Mystique? Because, man, I don't know what that story is about, but between the monster design and the armor design, the battle system that From Software has, really kind of gotten down to a science. I am so excited for that. I had a lot of fun exploring the lore of Dark Souls and Bloodborne and stuff like that. So Elden Ring seems like it should be really, really fun. George R.R. Martin, I think I still think is an asset. As much as Game of Thrones, the sun may have set on the fandom for that show and that series quite a bit. I do think that that's a good name to have for this whole thing. So I'm going to be following that very closely. I'm very excited to check that out a bit more. I thought the overall best showcase, by the way, don't ask me anything about Ubisoft. I didn't watch it. Part of the problem is that Ubisoft doesn't have a lot of series that really grab me and that I've been a huge fan of. So I have to admit, I'm kind of glad that I wasn't covering E3 in some kind of official capacity, because I think by day 3 I really would have started getting frustrated. But it was kind of nice, like, having it be this sort of, George R.R. Martin is working on Elden Ring, yeah. That's fair. That's fair, Lloyd. Still, though, I think there was that final season devastated that fandom, and I think a lot of people, even if they were open to reading the books, were just like, "Yep, all right, that's done now." I am totally with you. Evil Lives, the Xbox Bethesda show, in my opinion, was the best show. I will go back and eventually check out Ubisoft, but I heard that they were doing like a lot of weird, like their presentation was very odd. Like, people were like, "Why are you wasting my time?" And I didn't really hear much in terms of the reaction to it. Like, I didn't see anything that trended that was like, "Oh shit, Ubisoft was ass." It was, I guess, like, there was like demonstration of stuff. I don't know. It was like, the way it was described to me, it was like they did it backwards. Like, they did the post show as the like, I don't know. Anyway, so I will eventually go and check that out. Let's talk a little bit about the Microsoft and Bethesda showcase. Getting to see a bit of Starfield. I have not been excited for that game yet. Mostly because I just don't know what to expect. Like, the expectations on the part of the Bethesda development team have been set, or not set. Like, they have not said enough to make me go, "Oh shit." But the trailer that they showed off definitely gave me pause and makes me want to check it out. I am normally not one for a space setting. Like, it's just, it's sort of like an ancient Japanese setting. It just doesn't do much for me. And, yeah, I think it was announced way too early. But, like, the fact that we're getting footage for it now and, the technology is catching up. We've got an actual date on it. Or a rough date of approximation, I think. I think that those are all, stuff to be excited about. The thing that actually excited me the most out of that whole presentation was the Fallout 76 stuff. Like, I'm super excited for that. Like, the Brotherhood of Steel story continuing, I think, is going to be really good. The Pit looks awesome. I'm really hoping that these expeditions are going to be, like nice, sizable pieces of content. I don't think that, I don't know if it's going to be DLC size stuff, but like, I'm just excited to go back to the Pit. It's going to be, yeah. I'm hoping that it's going to be like maybe a quarter of the size of the whole map, or they literally just took the Pit from 3 and upgraded it. I'd be interested in either. So, super excited for the expeditions coming to Fallout 76. God, what else? The Halo stuff looked really cool, but I've never been able to get into Halo. And so I just literally don't know how to feel about it, Trying to think, what else did we see during Microsoft? The Outer Worlds 2 literally does nothing for me. Like, the first Outer Worlds, I think I was really hyped for, and then when I got it, it was sort of not what I was expecting, in a bad way. Atomic Heart, that trailer looks fucking insane, and I've been hearing about this game for years, like just through like weird Facebook videos and stuff like that. I am super excited for Atomic Heart. Can't wait for that to come out. Shredders, that Xbox snowboard game. Do you guys, you remember when snowboarding games were like a genre unto themselves? Like, no one special, what's going on? You had like Cool Borders and SSX and like 1080. Like every game, like it was like every console had to have some kind of a snowboard game. I think I said this about. There was another like winter sports game where it was basically it gave you like a mountain and free reign on the mountain, I think. I don't remember what that was called, but I never ended up checking that out. Kind of cool though. Diablo 2 is looking really good. Like that trailer is looking really, really good. I'm good. Just kind of talking about some E3 stuff. Guys in the chat, let me know what impressed you from E3. Fusion X saying Halo MP video they posted later actually had some great ideas for free to play games. Nice. Yeah, the Halo multiplayer looks really good. I'm pretty excited about that, and for it to be free to play, like the fondest memories I have of Halo were of playing the Halo multiplayer, mostly with the bros that live downstairs from me, that I would buy weed from every once in a while. But yeah, I think like that may be kind of cool. To check out, like especially on PC. I think that may be one that doing the bagpipes, knowing, huh? That may be one that I check out if it's on PC. So I love the way that they're handling the season passes. Taliesin True Strike saying my favorite was Devolver. I have not actually seen the Devolver conference, but they're always funny. So, what was that game that they showed off? It was like the drug runner sim, Contraband. That looks kind of fun. I wonder how they're going to kind of like cleverly skirt the issue. Like, what are they going to call it? Coca or poppies? Like, how are they going to cleverly skirt the idea that you're straight up running drugs?
What hot takes I miss?
Morgan, I don't know that you've gotten to any hot takes because we're sort of building towards the Square Enix portion of the show. I do think that it says a lot that Bethesda started their conference with Todd. I think a lot of people, especially Bethesda fans, have been really nervous about okay, with the Microsoft buyout, what does this mean for the talent that exists at Bethesda? I think it says an awful lot that they put Todd on first and led with Starfield. I think that bodes really well for people who are fans of Bethesda games. Like I said, the Fallout 76 stuff is just, I can't wait for that. It's actually kind of got me hyped about playing Fallout 76 a little bit, which I may do a little bit later on here today. Redfall seemed cool. The character dialogue is really hard, especially like characters that interact with one another and they're supposed to have snappy or clever dialogue. That shit can be really hard to write and make it work, right? Redfall was cool because I love the stylized look of the whole game. Very cool. But then the characters, their interaction, I thought, okay, some of the comedy didn't, not all of it hit with me, but enough of it did where I was like, okay, you know what? I could see checking this out. So I was definitely impressed by Redfall for sure. And I think that was most of the important stuff from the Bethesda Xbox conference. Oh boy, now we get to Square Enix. Look, if you don't have something really compelling or a bunch of things really compelling for the largest industry showcase of the year, it's okay to just be we're gonna pass. I don't know if the ESA twisted the arm of Square Enix, but the absolute dragging that people have been giving Square Enix for their E3 presentation on social media, totally justified to me. It was not good. It was not good. And I got some flack and I got some pushback on Twitter over the weekend when I said, listen, if you're disappointed by Square Enix and what they presented at E3, that's justified, that's valid. And, don't let, and I lump myself in with this statement. Don't let people who have some kind of financial incentive out of Square Enix games performing well convince you that, or try to convince you that they had a good show. I've seen very little of that, by the way. But I have seen more than a few people go out of their way to be people's feelings and whatnot. And I guess a little bit Like, yeah, there are some people who might find this shit and read it, but like, let's be realistic here. Let's be honest about this, okay? Most developers don't really have a whole ton of time to sit through the fucking barrage of social media comments. There are people whose job that is to kind of go through and aggregate those social media comments, and they put them together in a data spread, and they present them in a deck to the dev team, and they talk about, you know, measuring sentiment and all this. I know because I've done this. I've been a social media manager for a large media company here in the United States. This is a part of the job. So, you know, all of these folks that are like, listen, you know, these devs are working their ass off, and they are really trying. And you know what? I guarantee you that yes, some of them are. But that's also their job. Right? Like, they get a paycheck for that. That's their chosen profession, right? And never in the history of making podcasts, making radio shows, or creating content has anyone been like, man, you know, that Nero, he's a real person, you know, go easy on him because, like, he may read that and be upset. Like, that's fucking nonsense. It's nonsense. And, you know, if I put out bad content and people dunk on me and, you know, expose all the flaws in my content, that's, you know, I can either get defensive and try to defend myself or take that criticism to heart and try to, you know, fix whatever may be going wrong at that particular time. Or, you know, people are reacting the exact way that you want them to react. I don't know what the desired reaction to Final Fantasy Origins was supposed to be. I don't think it was this. I also know very well what it is like to be working on a product that I know is bad, that I know isn't working, but it is my job to keep doing it. And the reason it's not working is not because of any of the decisions that I'm making. It's because of the decisions that are being made above me that are being dictated to me. Okay, I know what that feeling is like. I know that there is probably a dozen people over at Square-Enix that were putting that trailer together. I forget what is the full name for this thing? The Final Fantasy Origins, like just the Stranger of Paradise. That's it. Again, another name from Square Enix that doesn't make a lick of goddamn sense. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. All right, so there had to have been a dozen or so people that were looking at the trailer and going, you know, he talks about chaos a lot in this trailer. Like maybe like 3 or 4 times too many. But like there was someone who was there going like, no, you don't understand. Okay? He's an angry man in a t-shirt that listen, if anyone who sees this trailer walks away with anything from it, it has to be that this man wants to kill chaos. That has to be. I don't, you know, setting, fine. We can infer that. Okay, it's set in the same universe as Final Fantasy 1. and we'll try to tie that. No, more mentions of chaos. God damn it! Like, was there a chaos counter when they were putting that trailer together? Someone knew, and it wasn't in a position to be like, this is really stupid, guys. This is really bad. I have no idea how the demo is being received, mostly because I just keep looking at the fucking memes. One of my favorites was, one of the it was like a Poochie. It was from the Poochie episode of The Simpsons, where it was like, Zeldoria posted it in Discord. Two, whenever Chaos is not on screen, all the other characters should be asking, "Where's Chaos?" Like it. I don't know how you look at the cut of that trailer, the final cut of that trailer, and go, this is good. They're going to fucking love this. I just don't. The memes have been fantastic. Let's talk about the second biggest disappointment, the Final Fantasy 1 through 6 remakes that are allegedly coming to mobile. Didn't see a pixel of them. I need to. Like, before I actually have an opinion about it, I need to actually see what they look like, because the previous mobile ports look like fucking dog shit. And if they look anywhere even close to that, I'm out. What I've seen people be like, what I really, really hope for, and I'm with you on this, is like an Octopath Traveler style pixel art for those remakes. If that's the case, 100% I'm in. 100%. Can they not do them for the Switch too? Like, what's wrong? Like, come on. I have to believe that if it's coming to mobile and Steam, that Switch has got to be in there at some point as well. In fact, I was actually kind of half expecting the announcement and the Switch part of the presentation. They're just simple pixel art, not Octopath style. Yeah, then I'm going to have to see it. Because, yeah. So, okay. I think Stranger of Paradise may have been the most egregiously bad thing. Okay, I'll look that up, Fusion. Also, Fusion says the demo is all right. It's obviously a cross-gen game, but it doesn't feel like an FF game, which it was exactly what I was saying right when I heard the announcement before, I turned on any hype thrusters. I was like, yeah, it's probably not going to feel like a Final Fantasy game. And listen, I think it's cool. Here's the one positive thing I will say about it. I think it's cool that Square-Enix is allowing some other companies the opportunity to sort of work with the Final Fantasy license. Obviously, it's not a mainline Final Fantasy game, so you don't have to be as protective of the brand. I'm sure it plays fine, but I've never been a huge fan of Koei Tecmo games in general. So I don't know. I have a lot of reservations about it. I just keep coming with the memes. The worst part of SE was really the lack of updates for Avengers. All they showed us was stuff we already knew about. Nothing to give people hope for improvement. See, I had heard that Avengers really kind of left people with kind of a sour taste in their mouth. And so I kind of just didn't really have much of an opinion about what we saw. I did like the Guardians of the Galaxy thing that they had shown off. Some of the character designs are questionable. I'm not sure why they decided to mocap Macklemore for Star-Lord, but I guess choices. That's a choice, I guess. Can they just quit taking concepts from Nomura? Because I would have laughed in his face if he came back to me in a boardroom that he wanted to make a game about an angry man. That's probably fair. Nobunaga's Ambition was my shit. I don't actually know what that is. I know Neo and Neo 2 especially, so gameplay should be fun. Right on. Okay. There was another thing that was in there. Babylon's Fall? Is that it? Babylon, it's Babylon something or other, and we've been hearing about that for forever. I'm not terribly impressed by that either. I believe that that's the one that's being co-developed with Platinum. Platinum is really hit or miss for me, guys. Like, I have not been impressed by a Platinum game. I played Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, and it was okay. Most other Platinum games I've kind of steered clear of. Babylon's Fall, another game that looked awful, probably because it's cross-gen. Yeah, there was definitely some visual problems with Square Enix presentation. Like, I even noticed that Guardians of the Galaxy had some pretty bad frame rate dips in there, and wasn't that was really kind of the only visual thing that struck me about that. Let's see, Artie Sonic Strife saying cross-gen has nothing to do with a game looking awful. I don't know. I think it could. I think it could be a factor. But I don't know. Both Babylon's Fall and Stranger of Paradise both gave me a strong, oh god. There were two games that Square Enix released like right around the same time, and both were not good. Infinite Undiscovery and oh Jesus, what was the other one? I don't remember the other one. But like it sort of reminded me of the same sort of quality of those types of games. And I'm just like, maybe we hit a speed bump in Square Enix's development that I'm just not going to be into for a minute. Here's my biggest thing about the Square Enix presentation, because obviously they have something ready to show for Final Fantasy 16. Wow, what a voice crack. I don't know where that came from. Obviously they have something ready to show for FF16, something that we haven't seen before, I think, because we had a couple of scenes in that sizzle reel at the very end for Final Fantasy 16, and I'm like, why aren't we seeing this shit? A lot of people have said that is likely being held for whatever Sony State of Play is coming up. I'd say that that's fairly likely. It's just weird to me. And it seems like a really bad marketing decision to me to go to the largest gaming, trade show and not have updates about some of your biggest franchises, especially when people know that there's stuff in the development pipeline. Listen, I know that we just got the Yuffie stuff for, Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, right? But, like, goddamn, like, you couldn't do a small teaser. Like honestly, we couldn't get a part 2, like just like even 2022, nothing. We couldn't get anything for FF16. Like, guys, come on. Maybe it. I don't know. Again, this goes back to my very first point that I made about E3, was that the lack of Sony is such a huge blow to E3. Whatever the ESA has to do to mend that bridge with Sony, like, they need the big three there. They need Microsoft, they need Nintendo in some capacity, even if it is just a treehouse, presentation, and they need Sony. Otherwise, it's just like how long are we gonna have to wait? Like, Sony's so cagey this year, and I don't really know why. Because, they've fucking aced the competition in years past, but I don't know. I'm now officially impatient for the next Sony presentation. Hopefully, they will present like whatever they would have at E3, and hopefully they won't make us wait too long for it. There was Nintendo's presentation today, and I think I'm going to have to lean on you guys because I keep hearing that it was great. I mean, I saw it, I watched it, I saw everything there. I'm not that much of a Nintendo fan, so there wasn't a whole lot that jumped out at me. The new Metroid, that seems pretty cool. Another new Smash Fighter, I guess I don't really care that much. They didn't say anything about a new console, a new Switch, or a new version of the Switch. They didn't, like the series that I really care about from Nintendo, Pokemon, got nothing. Obviously, Breath of the Wild 2 is huge. Although, don't hate me, because I still haven't played Breath of the Wild. Don't hate me. But does Breath of the Wild 2 seem a little bit like an expansion pack? Like, here, we got flying now. And it just opens up some new shit. Like, I know it's gonna... I know it's gonna be more than that. I know. But, like, I was watching it like... Okay, so it's just the same area, but, like, you can go into the sky, too? I mean, like, that's cool and all, but, like, I don't know. Like, I guess if that's your thing, that's cool. Listen, I remember when Nintendo did that in my generation. Or I'm going to sound so old. I remember when they did that, and when they did that with Ocarina of Time, they just rearranged the assets and gave you another game. And for some people, listen, that's their favorite Zelda game. And it's a weird game. I'll give you that. Majora's Mask is a very odd game. I don't know. Yeah, the trailer probably didn't do the game justice. Like, listen, I think I need to actually, like, give Breath of the Wild a shot, because I've owned it since I bought the Switch, but I don't think I've ever loaded it once. So that's cool. I'm actually a little bit more excited for Skyward Sword, because that was a game that I never actually got to play, that I was really interested in playing. I may jump into that and see if that wets my whistle for getting back into Zelda, because Zelda's a franchise that I kind of dip in and out of. I spent a lot of time in that. It was a great game. Breath of the Wild is a lot better than Skyward Sword. My Wii was stolen before Skyward Sword. Dude, that sucks. See, I never owned a Wii. I never owned a Wii or a Wii U. So, like, the last Nintendo system before I bought a Switch was a GameCube. So, yeah. A lot of people were really excited over Advance Wars. That's really cool. It's a game that I never played. Some of my friends did on, what was it, GBA? but it's just again not sort of like not quite my cup of tea. I'll tell you the one, dude, the thing that I keep, yeah, I know it's a tactical game, of course it's not going to be my cup of tea. The thing that I keep waiting for from Nintendo, oh, thank you, Artie, I appreciate it. By the way, I'll shout out the website here in a second, but yeah, the video games done to look like metal album covers or metal T-shirts is really cool. Hang on, I'm gonna look up the site. Video game metal T-shirts. Literally what I googled to be able to find it. DraculaBite.com. I'm gonna go ahead and share that link into the chat room. Some really cool stuff in here. And they added some new stuff. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna bounce the screen over here. Check this out, like, dude, and like, what good timing on some of these designs too. This Master Chief done up like Motorhead, I think is fucking cool as shit. The Metroid, I love the Metroid. You've got Ganon over here. Obviously, the Metal Gear Solid. That's the one that I'm wearing. There's a lot of stuff in here. Oh, dude, that MODOK. Fuck. Shit, I've got some new T-shirts to buy. And they're having a sale, $13.99 for some of these on the front page. Dude, they should be paying me. That's a pretty cool Venom and Carnage. I like the Venom solo T-shirt. Let's see. Mandalorian. There's a lot of Mandalorian stuff. Again, here's the Metal Gear Solid one. Silent Hill, Alien. Dude, come on now. That's metal as fuck. Both metal as fuck and adorable. So, I mean, he's got a whole bunch of different categories: film, horror, Star Wars, Mortal Kombat. And let's look at some of the other Metal Gear T-shirts. That's a pretty dope one. Oh, dude, the snake. That's fucking dope as fuck. I should get so many more T-shirts from here. Let's see what else we got. And look on the side. Game collections. Zelda, Metroid, Dark Souls, Castlevania, Super Mario, Mortal Kombat, Metal Gear, Animal Crossing, Rareware, Mega Man, Kirby, Final Fantasy. Let's take a look at the Final Fantasy ones. I'm sure you guys will recognize the Dark Knight T-shirt. This is one that I've worn on stream quite a few times. But there's a lot in here. The Kefka, dude, look at the Kefka. Kefka's so goddamn cool. I am such a fan. And all of these designs, again, like, this Black Magic. This is a Black Sabbath reference. So just all incredibly creative. Incredibly creative designs here. Let's see what else we got. F-Zero, Pokemon. Let's see what's in Pokemon. Gengar, Bulbasaur, Ghost type, Mew. I mean, like, dude, I'm a fan. So thank you for asking about them, but yeah. So feel free to check these out on your own. Oh, Undertale. Look at that. That's so cool. So yeah, there you go. Again, check it out, DraculaBite.com. B-Y-T-E. Also, they got some game horror: Silent Hill, Resident Evil, Doom, The Last of Us, Star Wars, comic books, all kinds of cool shit. Go check it out. Okay, so I think that covers most of E3. I can't, not, there wasn't much else. Oh, I was in the middle. What I was in the middle of saying was the thing that I wanted to see out of Nintendo and on the Switch was I I really want to see older Bethesda games being brought to the Switch. Like I want to lose myself in Morrowind or Fallout 3 or New Vegas on the Switch. You know, the new games that are coming out for the Switch, they're good. But there's some of my favorites that I would really love to go back and do some replaying again. They will have that once they have the Switch Pro, you think? You think that's what's holding it up? I don't know. Yeah, the Pokemon Legends game I do want to see a little bit more out of. You know, like, that's the thing, though. You would think that, if Skyrim can run on a Switch, like, Morrowind should probably be no problem. Oblivion should probably be no problem. Fallout. I think actually Fusion X is a little bit more accurate at this point. I think it's Microsoft not wanting to give things to other platforms. I think that's probably accurate. Yeah. You know, we heard a little bit about, what is it, like Doom Eternal on the Switch. That may be the very last Bethesda game that ever comes to the Switch, which is really unfortunate. I would have, I would have loved to see some of those classic PC games brought over to the Switch. Here's the one thing, though. Microsoft and Nintendo work well together. They have Xbox Pass on Switch. Snacks, got to run to Costco, but it was fun hanging out. Switch port is a complicated process. It's usually a biz reason more so than a technological engineering limitation. Yeah. I am definitely aware of that. Granted, I imagine Elder Scrolls and Fallout will remain at least available on PC, considering how the modding community breathes so much life into those games. Yeah, I don't see Fallout games even. Thank you, Snacks, appreciate it. But yeah, I totally get that sense that most of the time when fans are sitting around going like, why don't they just do this? It's, people in a boardroom going like, well, we could probably get more money if we don't. And the sad part is that usually they're right. Usually in some weird way they are correct. But anyway, Snacks, thank you. Thank you so much for hanging out. It was good seeing you. So yeah, obviously I didn't get that from Nintendo's presentation, but I didn't hold that against them. I thought what they presented was good. And obviously it did well with their audience. So I think, that's really the goal there, isn't it? Shadow Shara saying the Switch Pro whenever it's released, we'll be able to handle certain games much better. That's for sure. Yeah, that's probably true. But it again, it's some of the older ones that dude, there are PlayStation 1 games where if I had access to them, I'd play them. I'd play the shit out of them. One of the things, actually, I'll tell you what I want on the Switch is I want a functional wrestling game. Yeah, you heard me. A wrestling game. There are a few, right? There's WWE 2K18, which is one of the worst reviewed games in Switch history ever. Full stop, period. So, I'm not going to buy that. Especially when it's still $49.99. Like, how stupid is that? There is another game. Doesn't have great graphics, but apparently the gameplay is pretty fun. I can't remember what it's called. It's like wrestling something or other. Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, even going back and like, I even booted up my Vita and I was like, I wonder if I could get like WWF SmackDown or Raw is War or something. And all of those games are gone. Like, you can't buy those from the Sony store no more. How is there not a Mario wrestling game? Thank you. Oh, Omega, you missed Chaos. He came and left. We didn't kill him, but I mean, in some way, you could kind of say, like, there is a Mario combat game, but yeah, it's not wrestling. It would be fun though. Didn't hear anything about and obviously these companies weren't showcasing. Didn't hear anything about the new AEW game in development, not even from like the PC gaming showcase or some shit, although I'm not sure that that's being developed for PC. Didn't hear anything about WWE 2K22. Didn't hear anything from Rockstar. There was definitely a lot of stuff that people were in the run up to E3 going like, man, I hope we hear about GTA 6. Yeah, we're fucking not. Like, set your expectations reasonably, sir. I actually even thought that it might be unreasonable that we would hear about Elden Ring, and obviously Jeff Keighley delivered on that one. Yeah, 2K didn't really show up. GTA 6 all online. Dude, and the people who are bitching about, like, oh, why are they continuing to develop Fallout 76 content are, like, the same fucking people that are like, they're just going to release it, it's going to suck, and then they're never going to develop anything for it. Like, fuck you. Like, there's nothing to do to win over some Fallout fans. It is bizarre. Shara, the Pixel remakes could be good for FF, 1 through 6. I gotta see them though. I have to see them. Yeah, Fallout 76 did get better. We can check it out here in a minute if you want. I think I was going to start out with some FF14 though. Just run a couple of roulettes and then switch over. I don't know why my voice is kind of going in and out. I should go get a Halls or something. But I do also need to refill my tea. So we'll switch over to FF14 here in just a second. Might even do some FF11 tonight, depending on who's around and what's going on. If there's something cool and fun to do, I might do it. FF6, I really hope they make a remake for that, like they did for FF7, but I doubt that will ever happen. Listen, I had an even much more reasonable request for the FF6 remake. Back in the day when they were doing the Nintendo DS remakes. I just wanted the Nintendo DS FF6 remake, and instead we got an FF6 remake with horrible sprites. No argument for me, Shara. 100%. I definitely think that FF6 story was maybe the best Final Fantasy story, full stop. All right, guys, I'm going to go refill. Sorry, that was loud. I'm going to go refill my tea here in just a second and bounce it over to FF14, update my title when I get back, and we'll do some roulettes here.